Hello everyone and welcome to Working with Miss Dickey. Today we're going to be looking at probability and percents. So we're going to do a quick review from last week about how to go from fractions to decimals and decimals to percents. So if you're given any fraction, you can go into your equivalent fractions, but for those of you, some of you struggle with that, or I'm a firm believer of working smart, not hard. We can go into our calculator and we can put the numerator divided by the denominator and it will generate the decimal. So if I go into my calculator and I put in 3 divided by 4, it will generate the decimal of 0.75. Okay, that will give you the in-between step because then you can go from a decimal to a percent. If you want to, you can just take your calculator, you can take that 0.75 and times it by 100 because as remember last week, everything as a percent is expressed out of 100 and that will generate your percent, which would be 75%. Or for some people, they might prefer this method. So you can remove the 0 and remove the decimal. Oh, that's interesting. I ended up erasing part of my 2. And you just add the percent sign here and same here. This one's a little tricky, so I did this one. We are going to remove the 0 and remove the decimal, but look, can we really start a number with a 0? No, it doesn't make any mathematical sense, so we're going to erase that one and add the percent decimal. Okay, so hopefully that helps you with going from fractions to decimals to percents because that's what we're going to be looking at. We're going to be expressing probability as a fraction and expressing it as a percent. Okay, so here we go. We've got our spinner, and so we're going to express the probability of spinning a 1, a 2, and a 3. So the best or the easiest representation to start off with is fractional representation because you should be able to look at that spinner and say, okay, there are 8 spots on that spinner and 4 of those are 1. For the 2, okay, there's still 8 spots, that hasn't changed, but instead of 4 spots, there's only 2 spots. And for the 3, there are 8 spots, and there's only 2 of those spots are 3s. And we can make sure we've done it right because if we found them all, all the numerators should add up to 8 because that's how many spaces. So 4 plus 2 is 6, plus 2 is 8. All right, we've got them all. So now we need to do representations in decimals. So we can go and we can put into our calculator 4 divided by 8, which will give us our decimal of 0.5. And as I said, we can erase, so here I'll write over here again, we can erase that 0 and that decimal. Oh, but this one's tricky. This is not 5. We should really be looking at this as 50%, as we should be able to know that 4 out of 8 is the same as half. Okay, this one, 2 divided by 8, will give us 0.25. Take that over here again, grab my eraser, erase that 0 and that decimal. Oh, that eraser is huge. You get 25%. And the neat thing is both of these are the same, so this is also 0.25 or 25%. And you can check to make sure that you worked because you've done it right because you can take your percentages. Well, you can take 50 and add 25 plus 25, and if we've done all of our math correctly, it should add up to 100% because we're looking at the entirety of that spinner. Okay, and finally, we're going to pretend that these little weird squigglies are jelly beans. And so we're going to look at the possibility of getting a red jelly bean, a black one, my mom's favorite licorice, but not many people seem to like licorice, green, yellow, or blue. So the first thing I need to do is I need to figure out how many jelly beans we've got. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So there's 17. So that's the possibility for the bottom of all of my fractions is that they're going to be out of 17. Okay, and so now my red is 4 out of 17. My black is a sad little 1 out of 17. My green is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 17. My yellow is 2 out of 17. and my blue is a whopping 5 out of 17. Now if I wanted to check, I could go back and I could put into my calculator all those numerators, 5 plus 2 plus 5 plus 1 plus 4, which will give me 17. So now we're going to go into our calculator and we can do 4 divided by 17. And I'll do that off screen here. And it'll give me a nice big long decimal. It gives me 0.23529. You don't need to go all that way. We want to round off. So I'm going to round this off to 0.24. Okay, 1 divided by 17. Gives me a nice, another long, big one. Actually, here guys, this is starting to get a little confusing. I'll put it over here. 0.058. I'm going to round off because this is a nice big number. So I'm going to erase that 8 and give me a 6. Draw my nice line here. Maybe I'll even switch colors here. We'll go over to green. 5 divided by 17. And that gives me another nice long decimal. Sorry guys, I should have picked nicer numbers to work with. 0.294. This one's smaller than 5, so you can just make that one disappear. We don't need to round up. Alright, so we go into, oh, no, not the eraser. There we go. Sorry guys. Whew. We'll do 2 divided by 17. Which gives me another nice long decimal. I don't think we're going to have any nice ones, which is 117. So this is bigger than 5, so we're going to round up. So this is 012. And then finally, for blue, 5 divided by 17, which gives me 0.294. That 4 is smaller than 5, so we're going to erase that one. And so there we go, we've got our decimals. And so now we know we can just erase those decimals and that 0, so this becomes 24%. This one here is that tricky one. We're going to erase that 0, that decimal, that 0, and get 6%. This one, we're going to erase our decimal and our 0, and we'll get 29%. This one, we'll erase that 0 and decimal and get 12%. And that last one, we'll erase that 0 and decimal and we'll get 29%. And remember, when we're erasing that 0 and decimal, it's the same as multiplying by 100 because we want to get something expressed out of 100%. Hopefully this helps you with your homework this week. If you need help, you can always comment on the assignment, or as always, email me at p0078359@pdsb.net.